Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Mark Fuller. This is the Free World Order, another video archive in the bag. And before I even get started with the topic for this morning, first and foremost, thank you everyone that's supporting the Free World Order, supporting the videos, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and those supporting us financially with contributions to help us reach our goal of raising $1 billion in order to build the first resource-based city in the world, as laid out by the Venus Project. You can check out the details of the Venus Project at thevenusproject.com. And be sure to like our Facebook page for the Free World Order. The link for that should be in the description box if you're looking at this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, more than likely you're already on the Facebook page. Also, send me a friend request on Facebook. I'll also put the link for that below. Today's topic I want to discuss. This system does work, just not for you. By now, a lot of people, I'm sure, are wondering probably why I'm constantly talking about the system and money and how bad money is and, things along those lines. But in reality, what I'm actually doing is I am creating content to provoke thought, because people tend to not question what they don't understand, and they tend to not question things when they feel comfortable. So I want to make people uncomfortable so that they're not content with whatever their personal situation is and so self-absorbed. The way that the system is set up, it works very well, but it's just not working for you. It's not working for the average person that uses the system and that is a part of the system. Most people are using the system and don't even realize it. People may think, well, I don't have to rely on anyone to do anything. I'm independent. I make my own money. That statement alone, I make my own money. You are dependent. Whether you make your own money, somebody gave you money, you won money in a lottery, you work a day job and earn money, you're relying on government assistance to get money, regardless of how you want to phrase it, if you're using money, you're not independent, because you're depending on the system that we are all using, which is the monetary system, ultimately connected to every other subsystem that follows the monetary system, which is everything. It doesn't make a difference what we're even talking about. Business, industry, the distribution of goods and services, all of the products and things that you see manufactured that you have access to when you go to a store. You need money in order to purchase these things. You need money in order to buy food. You need money in order to buy clothes. So you're not independent. You're dependent on the system to continue functioning at the level that it is functioning, just in order for you to have access to the things that you want. But you don't realize that the system is not capable of providing for every person. It's incapable of that. In fact, the system by design has been created to extract the wealth from the majority of people that are at the bottom of the pyramid, and it pushes the wealth back up to a very small group of people at the top. That's why, if you noticed, certain things are said that are so commonplace. Oh, excuse me, commonplace. The rich get richer. Of course the rich get richer. Well, how did they become rich in the first place? See, no one asks these questions. There are people that may have inherited wealth through land ownership or through business ownership or through the ownership of resources, oil fields, major corporations, whatever the case may be. But initially and originally, how was the distribution of money set up from the beginning? How was it allocated? You see the point that I'm making? So the system that you're using makes life unequal for just about everyone. The only people that really are benefiting from the way that the system is set up is those who willingly participate in the perpetuation of the system. So those who voluntarily keep the system going. Come on, man. What are you doing? Those who voluntarily keep the system going are the ones who benefit the most. But the bottom line is that the system is working. People will say things like, well, this system doesn't work. No, it does work. That's what the problem is. So if the system works, then it's not people that are having a problem navigating through the system. The system is designed to give you trouble. It's designed to keep you down. This is what people don't realize. They're thinking they can get ahead somehow. Even if you earn a decent living in the system, you have a decent job, you're earning money, you're able to pay your bills. That goes on to the extent of your ability to work in order to generate whatever that income is to pay your bills and to maintain your standard of living. So ultimately, it's a very inefficient system because people get sick and then you're not really taken care of at the highest level if you're sick unless you have a lot of money. And most people don't have a lot of money because the system by design is not designed for everyone to have a lot of money. So now we create conditions in the system and pockets all over the place of poverty, of situations where people don't have enough to be able to sustain daily life at a decent standard of living. And they also don't have the means to pay for the best or the highest level of health care if they get sick. So you see how it all ties in together? The system is designed to only offer that to those who are able to make their way within that top 1 to 3% of the entire population. Everyone else is subjected to the structure that the government puts in place. So, when the government, you hear politicians talking about the healthcare system and healthcare reform and this, that, and the third. It's all bullshit. Because the bottom line is that they know in advance, based on whatever healthcare that you have, whether or not you're even going to be considered for certain things if you get sick or if you end up having some type of disease that requires some type of surgery or some type of therapy or some type of medicine that is off limits to the average person because they can't afford it financially. So it's all bullshit. And this is what I'm trying to get everyone to really think about, because the more that you think about the way that the system is robbing all people, all with the exception of 1%. So 99% of people are being cheated by us utilizing the system that we're a part of. So the question then becomes, well, how do we get out of the system? Because you can't change the system. Don't think for 1 second that you can change this system. This is how politicians lie to you. They lie to you thinking, oh, well, we're going to come in and we're going to do this and better jobs, better health care, better education. It's all bullshit. They've been telling you the same shit for the last 100 years. At least in America. Well, I can't even say at least in America. Any country that utilizes the democratic system and the political system that is used here in the United States, any type of political system, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. The only solution to the systems of the world that are currently being used, which is monetary, because really the banks, the international banking system is what is running the world. And the people that run those banks are shareholders of the bank. They basically own money. Most people don't even know this. The Federal Reserve Bank, it's not a bank. It's not a bank. It's not a bank. It's not federal. So what the hell is it? It's a private corporation that literally prints the money that the United States is using inside of its economic system. The same money that we use every day. That money is printed. That money is created out of thin air and it's not backed up by anything. It is backed up by debt. Meaning that for every dollar that is created, there's interest attached to it that someone has to pay back. Who's the someone that has to pay it back? The taxpayers. I mean, I could go into all of that type of stuff, but it really doesn't make any sense to dwell on the pieces of the system, really, the pieces of the system that are set up to rob you, because me dwelling on that makes no sense. What my focus is to show you how the system is designed to rob you over and over again. It just perpetuates the same thing over and over again. And as we use the system every day by spending money, it keeps the machine going. People are thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be able to get ahead by doing this and doing that. You might get ahead as far as being able to get your hands on some money. But the bottom line is that, are all people really going to be able to benefit from what we have as human beings collectively created to improve life for human beings? And because of money, the things that are improving the lives, or that are capable of improving the lives of every human being, it's not made accessible to every human being. It's kept back by those who have money. It's kept back by those who have power. And the people who have money and power are just basically the people at the top of the pyramid. These people represent large banks, large corporations, and political power. And they control the media and the information that you receive on a daily basis through your television, through your radio. They control all of these different pieces of the society. And it's through that medium, especially media, that they control your mind. They keep you not asking questions, because people get exhausted by trying to figure out, well, I don't know what this is. Fuck it. I'm going to just go with it and try to, just make a better life for my kids and blah, blah, blah. It's not going to work. And we can't think independently, because if we do that and we don't start thinking as a collective, eventually this system will destroy not only itself, but it's going to destroy what you're used to seeing, like the lifestyle that you're used to seeing and the standard of living that you're used to having. It can be taken away like that. And it's very scary. So the solution to this all is using the resources of our planet intelligently in order to benefit all people. This way, nothing is kept back from certain people. Nothing is held back from particular groups of people for any reason. Oh, well, you don't have access to this because nothing is held back. You can't hold things back from certain groups of people for any reason. In another video I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit into the religions of the world and the way that also restricts people and keeps people back. And we're going to delve into that also, because a lot of times people will, anytime people can't explain something, it always becomes a God thing. Oh, well, God works in mysterious ways. The reason that happened is because God is punishing those people. The reason that that happened is because God is blessing those people. Oh, well, those people are blessed. Those people are punished. What? It's like, what the hell are you talking about? And it really has nothing to do with God doing anything. God, the idea of God, if you want to look back at the planet and everything around our planet and in the solar system that has been created, that we don't know how it got here. Let's say, all right, God created all of this. So is God similar to a human being, or is he extraordinary? He or she? Is God a man, or is he a spirit? It's like all of these questions begin to pop into people's heads that cannot be answered. So someone creates an answer that makes sense based on what they're able to see. It makes sense to enough people, and boom, it becomes accepted. The same way the idea of money is accepted. And in all honesty, money is most people's God. As a matter of fact, anyone who uses money, money is your God, because there's nothing that you can do without it within the society that we're living in. The only way to completely detach yourself from money as being your God is to completely go off the grid. And in order to go off the grid, you got to use money to buy the things that are going to get you off the grid, like land, like materials, and, things that you need to build sustainable energy, things along those lines. So ultimately, you got to use money to get off the grid so that you don't have to use money. And in reality, this is the basis of what it is that we're trying to do with the free world order, because you realize that in order for us to create a resource-based system, that means that we're going to have to get rid of this concept of money. You have to get rid of this thinking, using something that's supposed to give you access to everything, but the allocation of that something that you're using is not put out to people so that every person can have a high standard of living. In other words, only a few people get to experience a very high standard of living, while others experience a sub-level standard of living where they're dying and suffering unnecessarily. That's an insufficient system. In fact, who is that system designed for? It can't be designed for human beings, because if you're designing it for human beings, then you will ensure that every human being is provided for in every circumstance. That's not what we have. We have now a situation on our planet where millions of children die every year from starvation. How is that even possible? You see what I'm saying? That means that we're doing something totally wrong. And if you want to bring religion into it and talk about God, you have to consider, well, is this something that God wants? Is it something that God is allowing to happen? If he's allowing this to happen, why? Or maybe it has nothing to do with God. Maybe it has everything to do with us collectively as human beings and what we're allowing to happen by us using systems that create that condition. Whoa, that changes the whole dynamic of it, doesn't it? That means that we're actually responsible for the shit that is created on the planet. Collectively, human beings are responsible for it, not an invisible God that nobody sees. We're going to get into it in another video. I'll talk about, God and religion and what people believe so passionately about, but no one really has evidence of as of yet. And we'll talk about it. I don't want to, offend people, but I'm pretty sure people will be offended when I start to talk about that a little bit. And again, all I'm doing is provoking your thoughts. I'm not here to contest or debate with people about religion and God at all. As I said, and as I say in every video, I'm here to provoke your thoughts, to get you thinking about the systems that we're using and that we're part of on this planet, and to consider the alternative, which is providing for every human being on the planet. If your religion and your belief system doesn't include all people, you might want to check it, because it should. Oh, well, no, there are bad people out there. Well, there are bad conditions that create behavior of regular people that we call bad people. There's a difference. And if you really examine it with a microscope, you'll see that I'm 100% right. 100%. Well, what creates psychopaths? Environment has a lot to do with it. It's just like people thinking video games don't have an effect on children or adults. It does. There's all type of gun game. Man, I'm not even going to get into it in this video. This is already 22 minutes in. I'm going to end it there. Make sure that you support us. Make sure that you like us. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. And be sure to support us financially. You can start with as little as $1 a month. Help us reach our goal of raising $1 billion to build the first city. Once we build the first city using resources of our planet, that'll become the blueprint for what is to come. Not only showing what's possible, but showing what we need to do. The energy that we're using is bullshit. We still using oil, carbon fuels. Why are we doing that? Why are we still putting gas in the car? Why are we not using electric cars or using cars that absorb energy from the sun? Why are we not doing that? In the cities, why are we still even driving cars? Our transportation system should be highly advanced by now. We shouldn't even be driving cars in the city. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to park. Traffic is being created. It's an inefficient system that we're using. Anyway, I hope that these videos are inspirational, educational, and that they start to really wake people up. But on that note, I'm out. Mark Fuller, Free World Order. More video content to come. I make videos every day, so plenty more on the way. All right, I'm out. I'll holler at y'all. Deuce.